Alright, hey everyone, it's me, Steven456, and today I'm going to be talking about something I bought off eBay. So, I jumped in late to the 3DS party and I got a Nintendo 3DS XL. This was a used one from eBay. It was originally $70 plus $8 for shipping. However, the seller gave a few of the watchers watching the system, including myself, a offer of $65 for the system, which I accepted it and purchased it. Now, it has some scuffs and scratches. I disinfected the thing because of coronavirus, but I disinfected the thing. It's all good to go. It's the red color, which isn't my preferred color, but, you know, it still looks really cool. This is like my first impressions on it. So, first of all, the design of it looks really nice. These are the two lenses for the back-facing camera. I think there's a microphone up there too. Then if you open it, there's this and that. Now there is a black spot on this screen, and you'll notice it when I turn it on, but here's the top screen, which is a normal screen. Here's the touch screen, the start, home, and select, the power button, A, B, X, and Y, the circle pad, or the analog stick, but it's called the circle pad, and the four-way directional pad. On the back here, you have the LNR bumpers and the game card slide, and this thing's also and all 3DS systems and 2DS systems, which are 3DS systems that don't have the 3D function on them, are all backwards compatible with normal DS games, as well as they also play 3DS games, obviously, because it's its own library. Then there's this 3D slider. Right now 3D's off. I can turn it on. I can turn it on at many different levels, or I can just have it off. So I power this thing on like normal. Thing's on. Now I don't have a game card inserted right now, but here's the bottom screen. I'll explain some of the other stuff later, but that's the black spot I'm talking about, which only is in the way sometimes. And I mean, the worst case scenario, I repair that thing. Worst case scenario, I fix that thing or get this thing fixed, because I would try to wipe it off, but it didn't work. And then the bottom screen here, so some of the applications I have, like for instance, I installed the Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire special demo version, and I did play through it immediately, and it was good. I'm probably not going to actually purchase Pokemon Omega Ruby or Alpha Sapphire, at least not from the Eshop, because it's really expensive there. There's the Mii Maker, where you make Mii characters, which are like the little avatars. Face Raiders is an authentic reality game. It basically it uses your 3DS's cameras and makes it seem like things are going on in the real world. Then I modified my system as well, like soft modded it, but your system settings. The Street Pass Mii Plaza, which this is basically basically the way this thing works is so you actually don't have to enter it. I had this thing turned because I already set it up. Once you set it up, basically if you close your 3DS and put it into sleep mode and you take it with you, see that light right there, I believe that's the wireless light, but this when the thing's in sleep mode and closed, you can just walk around with it like on like normal walks, and if someone else with a 3DS is around, this light right here will have a color, and then what that means is that you're getting a street pass notification. Then you check the notifications up here. I can also touch this. The notifications up here, and look for a street pass notification, and it basically means that like someone else is there. You can also earn these play coins, which you can use in that Street Plaza app to play like mini games, and you can also use them in other apps too. The play coins. Then there's an activity log, 3DS camera. This is a free to start 3DS game. However, it's just demo, kind of like you have to, once you download it, you have to actually buy stuff in it, which I haven't done. And the game's is really kind of, I'm probably going to delete it. There's a Nintendo eShop where you can actually you can go and get your stuff from. You can download applications, and you can also buy games off of it. There's a Nintendo Zone. I'm not sure what that is. The health and safety information, because yes, they have a whole app dedicated to that. Nintendo 3DS Sound. And then a bunch of AR games, which I think require play coins to play. Then I soft modded my 3DS and I added these things: the homebrew launcher, FBI. I forget what this thing's called, but that's that. Not the download play. The download play is normal. Luma 3DS, and this thing. This is just a theme manager. This lets you basically install more custom themes, because while there's a theme shop, you can also get more customized themes with this, and they're cooler. Of course, you can customize the way this works any way you want. Normally, your 3DS will be like this. Then there's that, which is what I have. You can also do that and that. Try to remember what I had it set at. Just set at this, yeah. There we go. We can have it like that, which is how I like to have it. Then DS download play. That's basically download play if you've had a DS before. There's a 3DS mode on it and a DS mode on it. If I enter it, yep, it's just normal download play. There's 3DS mode and DS mode. DS mode is for normal DS games, and that is compatible with 3DS systems and DS systems. And 3DS download play is for 3DS games and is only for 3DS and 2DS systems. But basically, it means only one person has to have the game, and then the other person basically downloads a section of the game temporarily using local connection. Basically using you're within a certain range of each other, and that's all you basically do. And that's pretty much it for that. But I do like the first impressions on it, and it does seem like a good game system. I am going to get an actual 3DS game. It's supposed to ship. It's going to be Pokemon Sun, and then I'm probably going to get other 3DS games in the future. Homebrew Launcher lets me put homebrew applications on here. Then Luma 3DS, that is a custom firmware which lets me play 3DS games from other regions. And what it will also let me do is it will also let me play backup 3DS games. So if I get 3DS ROMs, and I could pretty much play them on there. And I can even officially back up 3DS game cards and then use Luma 3DS to play them. Now, I don't launch the application like this, but Luma 3DS basically has to be installed for them to be able to run and be compatible. So that's what I have that for. And I think I don't know where my stylus went, but it's probably around here somewhere. And normal DS game, but because I don't have a 3DS game card yet, but but there's one coming in. It has to ship here though. It plays the DS games just fine. I've had no problem playing normal Nintendo DS games. When I'm probably which probably means it won't have any issues playing 3DS games. Just gonna close out of that, because the DS game you have to fully close out of it. If it's 3DS I can pause. But what else is there? Anyways, I'm looking for my stylus. I can't really find it. Stylus isn't too important for me to show you though, but there's a stylus that you normally get, and it goes. And yes, I have a stylus, but it goes. It's hard to angle this properly. So you see this right here, that's where a stylus goes. So you click on the side, this is the volume switch. And then this is the wireless switch, which means if I flick this, it'll turn off wireless connection. If I flick it again, it'll be back to how it is now. And if I turn this 3D on, pardon your eyes, I hope your eyes don't hurt from this, but it doesn't look that great on camera, I know that for sure, but it looks better like off camera. Like in person it looks better. And if you get it like dead center, it'll be perfect. Like the way I'm angling it, I'm looking at it right now. There's of course different levels of 3D. I mean, I've been messing around with it on like the lower 3D setting, which isn't bad. Then you turn it off. And the screen, I think, gets like slightly brighter when you turn it off. It's either that or that's just me, but anyways. Oh yeah, there's also a friends list, so you and another friend, you exchange friend codes and you put them in, then you guys can be friends. There's also the Miiverse. I haven't really looked at that yet. And of course, there's an internet browser. You can also install Netflix on this as well. So you can put like Netflix on here, YouTube, things like that. It'd be interesting though, watching Netflix on your 3DS when you can watch it on a phone. I mean, but though to be fair, these days all game consoles and handhelds have the ability to watch Netflix. They all have like Netflix and Hulu and YouTube on them. But yeah. But anyways, and if I just hold down the power button and power off, I can also just put it into sleep mode if I wanted to, but it's a great system. I love the feel of it. It's not too heavy. It fits in pockets, and that's important. Oh yeah, also these L and R buttons can also take pictures with the 3DS camera if you don't want to use the A button, which in some ways can be easier. Though I haven't really taken any pictures with this. And I didn't use the camera thing for my Mii because on mine, because mine's used, the camera's a little bit slower. But it's alright. So, yeah. And this is a US region one, and 3DS systems and 2DS systems are region locked for the 3DS side of it. So they can play any DS game, a normal DS game of any region, like Pokemon White version 2 for the DS. This, I don't know if this is the US cartridge, because it says USA on there. But let's say this wasn't. Let's say this was a Japanese one, or a European one, or a PAL region. It would play on this. But if I took a 3DS game that was either Japanese, PAL, European, and tried to play it on this, which is a US 3DS, this is a US 3DS with US region coding on it, it would not let me play it because this can only play. A US 3DS can only play US 3DS games, and it only has access to the US version of the Nintendo eShop. It only can use the US Nintendo eShop, and it can only play US 3DS game cards. Which is the unfortunate thing about this. Yes, you can break the region coding, but it won't. Like I said, Luma 3DS custom firmware lets you play games from other regions. So if I want to play games from other regions, I can do so. However, that's unless you found, like, because it's easy to find used Japanese 3DSs even from US sellers for cheap prices on eBay. That is really like Luma 3DS, and to do things to play region-free games is only really needed if you live in the United States or in Europe and you bought a Japanese 3DS and you don't speak Japanese, you speak English or another language, and you want to play games that are in your language and in your region on it, which, I mean, the system you can change the language on, but you're probably going to want to play the same region games that your friends have, so, and games that are in your region and are easier to get. So in that case, then I would understand wanting to take advantage of Luma 3DS for that. Luma 3DS, I mean, if I want to back up a 3DS game, I guess I'll do that, but I installed it because it was a part of me setting up Homebrew. I'm probably going to try and get Homebrew emulators on here, honestly, even though the eShop has virtual console games on it. But yeah, anyways, guys, that's it for this video. It's just a little first impression on the Nintendo 3DS XL that I got off eBay. And I love it, and I hope I love all the games on it. But anyways, I thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like, and please subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.